Yo,
Yo.
hey, yo,
Yo.
hey, yo. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. I hope you had a good, this weekend personally and in the sports world. Yes, we are all still dealing with, you know what? It's worse for me that not having football games is, that's less of a problem to me than everything that goes on with the off-season talk. I hate it. I hate it so much. At least let's get a little closer to the draft. But, which, as you know, we're hoping like hell, boys. But we still got some salary cap work to do. I
Our, our
saw
team our team's been done looking at the draft.
Tyrell is no more. Maybe he goes back to you guys. I don't know. But
He could. Who knows?
thank you guys for joining us. Hit us up in the comments. Let me get my graphic up here. As you can see, I'm rocking the resplendent red glove
Rocking the red glove.
in honor of getting to play a little par 3 golf today.
There you go.
Definitely feeling better. Still stuck at home, so it is what it is. I know, a lot of people out there watching have been dealing with the same thing. So just be
Mm-hmm.
safe. The vaccine thing is going another kind of on a shortage right now, but let's just hope things are improving, and especially to all the sports fans out there, so that we can actually go to the games. For man, when I don't know if I told you on the show. I don't know if I mentioned to just off air, but. When we had gone to Utah to go to Park City, we flew to Salt Lake, and the Jazz are allowing like 10% maybe fans,
Yeah.
and I'm sure it's priority season ticket fans. So probably if you had a season ticket, they just said if you pay for it, you can have your season ticket for the higher priced ones. So I just out of curiosity, I Googled it, and there were two seats like 8 rows up, 10,000 a piece for a Jazz Spurs game. I was like, it's not that
Woo!
tight. It's just the Super Bowl was less than that. So we got to put a stop to this. I hope you guys are doing well. Tyler, how was your weekend? How are you doing today on this Monday?
Good. I went to a Jazz game, paid $10,000 for my seat, and went and saw the Jazz play. No, it was good. It was a good weekend. Just relaxing. Hope everybody had a good Valentine's weekend. Do whatever you can. Obviously, the not all restaurants and everything are open, so hope you all had a good Valentine's weekend. But no, it was solid, fun, nice and quiet. Ronnie, how was yours?
Pretty much the same. Very low key. We're not running around doing anything, but it
Also, shout out
was.
Patrice. What's up?
Trace, see you in the chat. Keep hitting us up. Thanks for watching. Um, like I said, look, we all get it. It sucks. Basketball's not quite there yet to where it's super, super interesting. I mean, if you're an
Right.
NBA fan or a fan of a player or a team, I sort of consider myself, yes, a Laker fan, but I root more for players in basketball because there's so few of them out there. I just like the
Mm-hmm.
way watching these individual guys play. And, hockey is trying to push through, obviously some COVID issues. It seems to be maybe slightly better, knock on this, but still going to be dealing with this all the way through. So those haven't really just fully hit their stride. We're a couple weeks away from spring training. Some nice news on that. It seems like in Arizona, you're looking at like 20 to 23 to 25% of fans, depending on the stadium.
Right.
So we'll have that going as we get a little closer. We'll see how much money the Dodgers could spend. I mean, just spend it all, throw it out there. But nice to have some kind of marquee kind of events. UFC pay-per-view, NASCAR, who always starts off the season with their most famous race, but that's just how it is, and it will never change.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
And my only thing, which we will get into that, it's just like it rains every time. Like you got to get this thing going by like 9 a.m. Like even then, you're probably still not going to finish till like 9 p.m. Like it's Florida, it's February, like it's gonna rain, and you guys don't want to race in the rain or have rain tires even be like considered. So that's what I mean. Probably for TV, I get it. Like it makes more sense to have it on. They wanted to start it at noon. I was like, this was supposed to start at noon, and it's still going. Like, wow. But maybe let's just bump it up a couple hours. Give yourself a little wiggle room.
I think God, how long ago was that? That was almost 10 years ago. I think my parents went to Daytona And it got like completely rained out. Like
It's
they
already
didn't.
a long race. Even if they go straight through, it's already long.
They didn't even. It was actually the year they didn't start the race until Monday night, and then somebody wound up driving their car right into the back of a jet dryer that was trying to, like, the jet engine they used to like dry out the track.
Yeah.
So he just ran right into the back of it.
We saw a lot of great jet dryer footage yesterday. If anyone tuned in, by the way, it's pretty much nonstop for like 6 hours.
Exactly.
But again, it's the marquee event of NASCAR. Weirdly, at the beginning of the season, but kind of they're with the playoff now, and they're sort of making it like, well, there's a guy that could be in like 6th place, but he could still win the whole thing. They're trying to keep it building that way to the end. But it's the event of NASCAR season, so that was nice to see on when it was on. And UFC pay-per-view, as I said, Pebble Beach. PGA always goes out west. Oh, imagine that.
Yeah,
NASCAR.
really.
They start their season on the West Coast where it's not a freaking blizzard everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
But just nice to have some big events to sort of latch onto. So we're going to get into those, get into a little soccer news because West Ham keeping that fire, baby. But
right.
we have a couple little like side notes here. And right off the top, I think this was shocking for Tyler and I as much as it was for everyone. Vincent Jackson, it seems like he was like yesterday was in the league still, like 38 years old. And, we still don't have any kind of information. It's obviously very early. This happened just today. But the fact that they're mentioned, usually they'll come out and say foul play wasn't involved or there, drugs didn't seem to be a factor. And I'm not speculating, but just it's
no, not at all. But they just haven't told us anything.
It's unsettling to know, like maybe whatever happened here, and just the fact this guy was 38. I don't think I ever really saw anyone in the NFL that played with him or against him ever say anything bad about him. I'm a Raider fan, but I mean, that dude was really good for a long time. And that just sucks. I mean, that is like one of these weird things that just comes out of nowhere. I know we've been seeing a lot with some of these baseball Hall of Fame guys, but it's still not ideal. But these guys are like 60, 70, some odd years old, and this guy just gets taken away. So that really was just a weird thing that you did not expect to see today.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's an absolute tragedy. Like you said, 38. That's just way too young. And we don't know anything that's happening. Anything that's going on yet. I'm sure we'll get more news out of that, the next in the coming days. But I do have. I mean, being a Chargers fan, I got a lot of good memories of this guy. I mean, he was the big monster out wide on an offense that was just like full of killers. Well, bad term, full of studs.
Whoa.
With that, with that Chargers team. I mean, obviously him, Rivers, LT, Gates. I mean, just. That offense was just insane. Again, he was just that big threat out wide, big 6'5" body, like, big dude just out there could just make catches over anybody, kind of beast him around. So, yeah, it's a real tragedy. Like I said, we'll find out more about this over the coming days. But, definitely thoughts out to him and his family.
Yeah, and I mean, even, he was obviously a Buccaneers player, but I saw a lot of Buccaneers players putting out just like, man, he was a good dude. Like, it doesn't seem like this would ever be the guy this happened. He wasn't probably around most of these guys. Like, I mean, except for if he showed up at the facility, or workouts or something, just to kind of be a part of it and be around it.
Right.
So, like I said, he seemed like just a solid guy, but definitely a bizarre circumstance here. And hopefully, I mean, I don't know what I'm hoping for. It just sucks that, he's gone too soon, but hopefully it wasn't anything like malicious that happened.
Right.
Couple more things. And actually, let's see here. Oh, I did want to bring this up. As you know, we are the West Ham Show of Record. Mikel Antonio on Valentine's Day, he saw a lot of athletes.
Our boy.
Posting on Instagram, doing whatever, professing their undying love for their wags. Mikel Antonio just went full. He's like, I'm going to actually send this out. Love you with all my willy. I would say my heart, but my willy is bigger. Happy Valentine's to everyone. Hey, that's my guy. That's my guy.
Must have been a lot of loving because he didn't play the game today. He said he wasn't match fit, so
He's a
must
little worn
must
out.
have had must have had a hell of a Valentine's Day. But,
A little worn
it
out.
was hilarious. You had sent me that in the morning, and then just looking through all the comments of like
The
people
comments
that
are
were
great, by the
genuine,
way.
people like some of them were really funny, and then some of them were people like genuinely mad that he sent this. Like for real, like get over it. It's funny. Like come on.
Yeah, and also any kind of athlete. I mean, look, he's not like LeBron or Michael Jordan or something where it's like, oh crap, my hat, I was stolen. I was hacked. Like, I mean, he's pretty famous. He makes a lot of money. A lot of people that follow soccer know who he is.
Yeah.
So just saying like, you know what, I'm just gonna put this out. And also, like, I would imagine, if your wife or girlfriend saw that, she might be kind of like again it, but no, he's like, I'm sending it, I'm putting it out there in the world, and the comments were pretty great. Also, if you see the original tweet,
Definitely. Yeah, that's. I mean, but that's just his humor. Like he always puts out funny, goofy shit like this. So
yeah,
that's just who he is, and we love him
and
for it.
it's not like he's just a clown. I mean, he's actually a good player, one of the more important players on West Ham.
True words.
So you know, I just like the fact that he did he even, or he's just like, I'm just gonna send it. Like, did he think about it and was like, still I'm gonna send it? Either way, wildly entertaining.
Definitely.
But so we'll see how soon he can recover. Thoughts and prayers with him too.
Hope,
Gets Gatorade. I don't
hopefully,
know.
yeah. Hopefully he's good before the weekend. He got the big Tottenham match this weekend, so hopefully he'll be recovered by then.
Yeah, exactly. We need some fresh legs and a clear head out there. So keep it together.
That's right.
But let's dive into, as I mentioned, the golf. Pebble Beach, just one of the more famous courses. It's not like a major or anything, but it's still a big deal every year. As far as like these opening tournaments before they get into, all right, now we get into some of the more, well, I mean, it's still pretty big money also, so there's that. But as they start to move east, and then you get into major season and things like that, pretty wild affair. Spieth, man, it's as soon as the weekend comes, he just folds up. I don't know what happens.
He's a Monday to Friday man.
He was
rest on the weekend.
pretty damn good on Saturday, and he had the lead going into Sunday. And after like 4 holes, it was like, "What are you doing, dude? What are you doing right now? Where's your head at?" But guys were balling out. Like you can see, this is not set up like a major. It's a difficult course, but Berger with the win, minus 18. You go all the way down to like 9 or 10 or whatever, this tie for 7th or whatever it would be, minus 13. So guys were scoring out there.
Right.
Also, one other side note, Nick Faldo's chops, whatever thing he's got going on. I'm in, dude. Keep that going. Get crazier with it. I want it, like, I don't know.
You want the full on, just the old like 18th century like British policeman mutton chops.
Live your dreams. Let's go full on like Peaky Blinders. Like I want to see that thing like covering the microphone. But I like the direction that he's going. But the real story of the day on Sunday was Nate Lashley. Woo! 4-putt triple bogey. He was right there. I mean, he was right there. And this is the 17th hole, so you are on the cusp of doing something pretty significant. And my man just had a meltdown. The first one, okay, you're still tough greens. The second one, all right, what's happening here? Lipped out. Keep it together. Third one, lipped out again.
Oh, man,
and the fourth one, he tapped in and slammed his club on the ground. And not really a classy move. I get it. Golf is a bastard of a game and a sport. But he cost himself right there. And I did want to just point this out. If you look on the leaderboard, as you see, he goes in minus 14 to the clubhouse. $301,000. Nothing to just bat an eye at. But
good weekend.
Let's just say if he was able to get second, it's $500,000 out there that you just literally rolled away on a series of like 7-foot putts. That is some golf shit right there if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, that was just absolutely brutal. I mean, like you said, that first one he missed, went wide, whatever. But those next two were just like, the gods are against you, my friend. The gods are not on your side. The gods will not save you. This is
No,
Baltimore. Uh,
exactly. Golf is a bastard. We know this. We can prove this. But also, thank you, Nick, for shouting out my red glove. Yes, definitely a crowd pleaser out there on the course.
of course, then
Amanda
it was
asks, is
made.
that Tania's 7-stroke today? It was similar. It was similar.
Of course, it didn't help. I mean, I guess for tournament dramatic purposes, it did help. But then, of course, right after that, Daniel Berger just nails a walk-off putt
Savage.
from like 40 some odd feet out, just absolutely drilling
30
it.
plus at least for an
Yeah,
eagle on the last
yeah,
hole. So no one can catch him at that point. So that's a walk-off. And if you're watching on TV, it was like 2 minutes, a minute and a half after Lashley's meltdown.
yeah.
So it was like, well, maybe he'll catch a break. Nope, he won't. Nope,
No,
that's
no,
it.
that's it. Yeah,
These fools smell blood. They don't mess around.
yeah. I mean, again, that's definitely a rough tournament for Lashley, and he. I mean, I'm not overly a huge golf follower, but he's not a guy whose name I usually see kind of in the top a lot. So that's kind of like, you could have blown your, blown your one chance this year. Who knows?
He's had a good start to the season. I mean, in the
Mm.
early tournaments, we're not that far into it. He's played pretty well. Seems
Mhm.
like, again, not the best look, but everyone's been there where you want to break your club or throw it in the ocean if it's
Oh,
Pebble
I
Beach.
don't, I don't knock the guy for that. I've broken many a club. I don't know golf
Seems like
course.
a pretty rootable guy. He's in his late 30s. He's been on tour, kind of a bigger guy that, that's always someone you could root for. Just looks like an average dude who's really good at golf. But
Yeah,
that was tough to watch. I mean, that was like a car crash. Like, bro, what do you? No. Flipped out
yeah,
twice in that sequence. Ooh.
yeah. Absolutely brutal. Like, especially that the third putt he did, where it looked like, I don't even know how that one lipped out, because it looked like he just hit it straight on and just it shot right out into the left. That was oh yeah, that was been there before, my man. Been there before.
That's when you just got to take the L, get off the course before you get struck by lightning, because
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
a good day. Don't be out there. Just pack it in. Take your measly $301,000 and get out of my sight.
What a pittance.
Yeah, that's nothing, you scum. But that was a pretty interesting thing to watch. So as we go through these marquee events, we already discussed Daytona. This was a marathon, shall we say, to put it gently. Michael
More
McDowell
of a Le
pulls
Mans
off the
race
win,
than a yeah.
which we'll get into how that came to be. But I think they got, 15, 16 laps in. There was a huge crash, and then comes the rain. So this is really the way they set these cars up for Talladega, Daytona. They want them all bunched up. They want them going 3 wide. At the end, usually you see the big one. We kind of had a big one at the beginning. Guys are running hot. Some of these guys first time ever being in a Daytona 500, and also ended with a big one. So this was super weird. But the rain delay, you just got to start it earlier, man. I mean, Fox, I get it. You want those eyes starting at noon, which 3:00 on the East Coast, but it always rains there. Like, even if it doesn't rain out for hours and hours like we saw yesterday, it's February, it's Florida, like, it's gonna rain. You need to get like at least a little, like they were talking about when Tyler texted me they're gonna restart approximately 9 p.m. Eastern time. I was like, I guess that means they're still going for it. And then every caution, there was a couple other times they had to bring the track dryers back out. I was like, they're committed to getting this done today, I guess. And then seeing Daytona, I think holds like 120,000 people. I mean, it's huge. It's 2.5 miles long with stands all around it. But kids were still out there. I was like, no, you got to go to school. It's like midnight, guy. But I mean, how many chances do you get to go to Daytona? I get it. If I was that kid's dad, I'd probably be like, we're sticking it out. I'll write you a note tomorrow. Don't worry.
Oh yeah. No, it was kind of I'm glad you mentioned it, because the super speedways, they put all the restrictor plates on there, so that does keep the action close. but it was just in all the races this week. And, you and I were kind of talking about it Saturday night during the Xfinity race. Like on the truck race on Friday, they had a 3-car wreck before the race technically started. Like not everybody had crossed the line to start the race, and there was a 3-car wreck that threw the yellow up. Then in the Xfinity race, there were guys going for it, making moves and causing crashes late in the race, which you expect it because some of these guys, think like, okay, like I got to do some crazy moves because that's how I make my way up to the big show. And then that just causes massive wrecks. And then this one, you touched on it here. Final lap, we had this on the final lap.
So there's your big one. Literally a giant fireball sliding down the asphalt at what was probably still around like 160 miles an hour, even when everyone gets on that brake. But Keselowski tried to make a move. He got spun out. Basically ended up with like a wall of 3 or 4 cars. Usually you see guys try to like duck low. There's spotters like go high or low, and you can maybe get through this based on where it's at on the track. There was nowhere for 34 to go. As soon as he got into that pile of cars, they all exploded. It was insane. And everyone was safe, which is the crazy thing, too.
Yeah. I think Bubba Wallace wound up, being looked at by some, EMTs, but he wound up being okay. So, I mean, that's just that's modern technology right there. But
that's insane that everyone walked out of this. Like that looks like a 747 just crashing.
Yeah, seriously. But it made for an exciting finish, which I think is really what NASCAR wants. That's why they do the restrictor plates on the big tracks. Otherwise, you're going to get the one guy whose car is just so great and he's lapped everybody. So at the end of it all, of course, through all this, we wound up getting a odd winner that I'm sure not many people predicted. Michael McDowell.
Oh, I know that for a fact.
Michael McDowell, who when I checked it before the race on Sunday morning, Vegas had him at plus 6,600. So if you bet on him, A, you probably have a problem. Seek help. But B, have yourself a night because you scored big time in that. Yeah.
Your $10 bet is chilling right now. And again, entertainment purposes only. But
please believe it.
There are obviously ways to bet on NASCAR, just like everything else. That's why sports are so great. But shout out to the Buck getting it done, man. 6,600 to 1. Like that is pretty sweet. Also, I did a couple things that you got to make the most of it because they just weren't going to do anything for like 6 hours. First of all, the fact that it was a rain delay caused it to be a red flag, not even the giant wreck. I mean, they still had cars all over the track, in the infield, whatever. So everyone has to stop where they're at. And then when they're allowed to go back to the pits, you can't do anything to the car. So at like 7 p.m. our time, you saw guys in the pits still picking mud off the cars like they weren't allowed to touch for 6.5 hours. During that time, I got to give a shout out to Chase Briscoe, who just booted out. He's like, all right, I'm going to Panda Express and hitting the drive-through, which, the comments in that were pretty entertaining. Obviously, people are like, ooh, he's going to have some bubble guts going on about lap 150. I don't know. See ya. But my real question was like, maybe he was, weight is everything in auto racing. Maybe he was just trying to keep the weight down. But was his plan really just to be starving if the entire race just went on directly for 4 hours? I don't know. So maybe he kind of dodged a bullet on that one. And then you see Custer clap back at him, hope get a good fortune. And he tweeted out what his fortune actually was. That said, turn towards those with the means to help you succeed. So, and then had to, hit him back like, well, it looks like someone, maybe you, is going to push me to the win today. It's got to be a good omen. But I saw another guy that does the, hold on, get my back on the right side here. Can you hear me?
There we go. We're good. Sorry, the sirens were going off and it was pissing off all the dogs and cats in the neighborhood.
There was another guy, I believe the driver of, actually in the library it was in, the McDonald's car that rolled out to a McDonald's and ordered like 6 of everything for him and the entire crew. And he had his on video, which was actually pretty entertaining because once the girl, he just pulls up, you could see Briscoe, he has the fire suit on. He just kind of took the jacket down. So that's already funny enough. He's like, we might have to go, oh, they're calling me. Guess I got to get back. But McDonald's dude just rolled up, didn't even unzip the thing. Like he was still in full like Goodyear, Monster Energy, everything. And
Hey,
the girl
got to
at the
get those
window was like,
sponsors out there.
"Did you just come from the track?" He's like, "Yeah, we're still racing. Like we're gonna start again, but just make a McDonald's run." So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the race. I had to pull off and get some food, man. When it hits you, it hits you.
When it hits you. And
But
yes, I kind of agree. Everyone wants.
Yeah, right.
Hey, do not bash the Fast and Furious franchise. If that's in reference to the horrible wrecks that they do to the cars and everyone most of the time lives, all right, I support you on that. But I will never walk out of a Fast and Furious franchise movie.
I have to assume it is about the action. But look, those guys are just like a half step away from just being superheroes at this point, and I fucking love it. Give me more Fast and the Furious. I will see every movie on opening night. I have seen every movie on opening night, actually.
And Callan coming in with some salt as well. The 9-hour delay made them miss the goals game. Shout out to Callan. Back to work. Looks like the goals are on a pretty nice little hot streak there. But we will check back. I believe the next game is supposed to be Tuesday. So big ups to Callan. Out there doing his thing. Surviving.
Hardest working announcer in the biz.
Oh, easily. I mean, you don't just get one of these banners for no reason. I mean, you can see it's the only one up there. Maybe someday, there's been rumblings. Adam Gase might get one, but we don't know. He's still in mid-career trajectory.
That's true.
So to get up in the rafters so early in a young career, that says a lot for Callan. And I believe also in the comments here that which I did also see, because by the time I got on, the guide on TV said it was, Bob's Burgers is showing. But it did. It preempted Bob's Burgers. So that was a marathon of a race, for sure.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it does feel like every year, it feels like maybe like 9 out of the last 10 years, it's just been rain delays somehow for that event. So it's like, come on, guys, like figure something out here.
Just like I said, even if it doesn't shut the whole race down to the point where it doesn't end until literally after midnight on the East Coast, like it usually does rain for some period of time. Maybe give yourself it's an extra 2 hours. That's not, that's 10 on the West Coast. That's not too bad. And yes, I agree. Texas, Daytona being delayed. And always caught up in that weird NASCAR situation of having their most famous race as the first one of the season. In still very much the winter rainy season.
Yeah, I know. At this point in time, they're not going to move Daytona. It will always be the first race of the year, whether good or bad.
And actually, you know what? We haven't had one in a while. So before we get into the fights, I do want to check in on this freaking guy. This actually was made aware to me on Friday. I missed it in time to get it on that show. But this was an entertaining one, a little bit of a sports tie-in as well. So, and also H-Town, the H-Town fans out there are Texas, H-Town, stay down. But local connection for you guys too. So I just wanted to give you guys a new this freaking guy that sort of carried us the weekend. Even the cop on the scene was like, "Hey, Houston's could use you. If you got a strong back, we can use you." And who knows, what kind of tumultuous offseason they have already dealt with and will continue to deal with. But Zane Hawkins, he got rocked. I mean, definitely did not want the smoke, as it turned out. He did not want any of the smoke. And of course, I would not cheat you guys. Let me see if I have. Oh, I might cheat you guys because I don't know if I have it.
Oh no! Come on.
I'll get it back. But let me see where this video may actually be, and if not, I'll see if I can recover it. But you know what? I just have this freaking guy. I don't have the actual impact, but I gotta recommend. Check out this video. I mean, just a run stopper.
Well, Ronnie, you say you're not going to cheat our fans, and then you cheat them. You know what that means.
I sure do. ass. That's all right. I deserve that. But check out this play. Houston's, maybe take a flyer on her. Give her, like a invite to camp. She gets downhill on the run. Like, she just loves to hit.
It's a picture perfect form tackle. I mean, like,
yeah.
It reminded me of God, was that like 2 years ago? The employee at Best Buy that was doing like the picture perfect pass blocking. The guy trying to get out the store.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it reminded me of. It was just like, dude,
the footwork was there. She was,
give her some pads. Yeah.
Read the gap and then just like, now it's gonna go downhill.
Yeah, just squared up on him, wrapped up, brought him down. I mean, absolutely picture perfect form tackle. I would take her. I would take her as a linebacker any day of the week.
Look, you just want people that like to mix it up, and I don't have. I think we had it maybe at some point on this, or maybe it didn't make the initial cut when we did our, ode to again America's sweetheart in the UFC, Derek Lewis. But I believe in several of his post-fight interviews, he always drops the, "You know about them Texas boys? We hit." And yeah, Zane Hawkins was not ready for the smoke. I mean, he just got wrecked. And that's no field turf either. That's straight up asphalt.
Yeah, I like the video was. I guess I didn't read the story, but like when you watch the video, you see the mom like taking the good angle to him, makes the tackle, and then like 2 seconds later, like some cops get in the screen. So I'm like, I don't know what the cops are doing there, but hey, when you got that Terry Tate office linebacker there making those tackles, saving her children from getting peeped on.
Yeah,
it's a safer world.
Maybe she's earned a couple, at least ride-alongs. Like, hey, if you guys really need some muscle for this,
right? Yeah,
I'm ready to go.
When the SWAT team won't do, give her a call.
I'm in. She's about that action. So credit to her, and Zane, get your life together, my man. But
true words.
Now we have time, as not really a transition bringing up Derek Lewis, but we did have a UFC pay-per-view over the weekend, and that means that we must check in with the Fight Doctor on Quarantine Kings.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. The heavyweight champion of the world. It's time!
Good old UFC 258.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I believe first title fight of the year in UFC. Is that correct? Main event, maybe? I don't know.
I believe no. Yeah. It was actually. Sorry. Yeah. First title fight of the year. So I was just thinking about how appropriate it was with the Bruce Buffer introduction because they gave him a nice shout out for all his years of service with the UFC during the show.
He's a legend.
Much deserved. Absolute legend. I think at this point in time, I like him more than I like Michael Buffer.
Yeah, Michael Buffer has definitely slid into just sort of being a D-bag. Also, his cameos are super expensive, unlike Bruce's.
It's time for Kaylee to move on.
Hey.
What a legend.
When he gets on the bike, he's going to give you everything he's got.
That will always make me laugh. I absolutely fucking love that. But yes, so we did have UFC 258 this weekend. I thought, all in all, it delivered. I was a little iffy about the card, but all in all, man, I was very entertained by all the fights this weekend. Of course, it was a headline. We had a welterweight title fight. Kamaru Usman defending his title, getting the TKO win over Gilbert Burns. There you see the heat now. As Ronnie appropriately pointed out, Burns looks like the Rastafari.
He does look like Liberation colors. Again, some of that, it's not his fault. He was wearing green trunks. But my man got worked out, as you can see, especially in the face and just entire head region. I mean, Usman is a dog.
Yeah, and, the first round came out, and Burns rocked him. I mean, Usman was hurt. Then kind of weird thing happened. Burns tripped, fell on his back, and then Usman, massive fight IQ play, was like, all right, I'm gonna keep him down here enough, do just enough work to keep him here so I can regain my composure. Just kind of threw some kicks while Usman was down, threw a couple punches to the stomach. finally regains composure, comes out in the second round, and it just dominates from there. I mean, Usman probably has the best jab in MMA right now. Probably a top 5 jab ever in MMA. Like, obviously, he's got the length. It just the power, the precision on it.
It was just coming right down the middle, especially later in the fight. It's just like, dude, he's not. He can't keep up with it. It's just right down Main Street.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what finished it. Early in the third, he came out, just nailed just a straight right to Burns' face, dropped him. Usman jumped on top, threw enough punches. Thought Herb Dean was a little late with the stop, but she probably could have stopped it a little bit sooner than he did.
Herbie Dean.
Yeah, Herb used to be the best. Now he's he's had some questionable stoppages the last few years. But Usman just absolutely dominant in the division. I mean, I was kind of thinking about it earlier today. It's just like what's next for him? Like, there's a few matchups that you can maybe do. Like, I know he called out Jorge Masvidal, because Masvidal, he beat him last year. Masvidal took the fight on a few days' notice. That's kind of Usman's thing. He's like, well, he's already flaunting that as an excuse.
And now I don't know if I prove it. Yeah, but
I don't know if I want to see that because Usman, I know it was 6 days' notice, but Usman just kept him up against the cage for 5 rounds and had his way with them. I don't know if I want to see it. I don't know if a full camp helps Masvidal at all. Maybe Colby Covington. I mean, Usman beat him in December of 2019. Since then, Colby went out and TKO'd Tyron Woodley, so he's a top contender. Leon Edwards is riding an 8-fight winning streak, which his last loss was actually against Usman back in 2015, I want to say. I mean, Edwards and Covington are probably the most deserving ones, but again, they've already been beaten.
It doesn't seem, super, super intriguing, especially Dana he can sell fights, obviously that's why he's Dana, but if it's just not really a ton of juice in it, it's just you promote this one guy like I'm the best shape of my life, it's about revenge. Just how much can you really do of that?
Yeah, and it's funny. There was actually in the last couple of days, a lot of people have been interviewing GSP, asking him about a comeback. To which St. Pierre said, I'm retired. I'm not interested. He's 40 now. He hasn't fought in 3.5 years.
I'm bored.
That's right. He hasn't fought in 3.5 years. He hasn't fought at welterweight in 7.5 years. So leave GSP alone. He's done. He's busy being a bad guy in Marvel movies now. So I don't know what Usman. I mean, maybe move up in weight class. I don't know. The more I was thinking about Usman, he's at this point in time, he's probably the at least 3rd best welterweight ever, maybe 2nd best. I mean, I kind of have him above Matt Hughes right now, but still behind GSP. But I don't know what else there is for him at this point in time.
Just not right now, which sucks because obviously the guy is wildly talented and a huge problem for anyone that he's come up against. But we'll see. I'm sure he'll get something here. It's not going to go just a year of him sitting on the shelf with a guy that high caliber. But the fight is not really clearly out there what it's going to be made as. So we'll see what happens there.
I mean, it should be Covington or Edwards, but especially Edwards since he's on an 8-fight win streak. But again, it's just both guys have already lost to Usman, so I don't know. It's a little iffy, but again, they'll figure something out. That's not Usman's problem. That's Dana's problem.
Yeah, and that's the problem you want to have as a fighter. I mean, put it on them and then just call out everyone.
Also, speaking of Dana problems, I do want to mention that I know you, me, and Justin were kind of texting about it during the show. The way that we were watching the fight was adding in some nice shots at Dana throughout the fight on the stream.
The streamers are getting a little more aggressive, let's say, just actively putting gifts to troll Dana White and the UFC. And I don't know, copyright laws in general at this point. But especially towards the end, the bigger events that more people were probably tuned in at that time, they were peppering them. They were firing them off pretty regularly.
Oh, streamers definitely won that round 10-8. That's not even a question. They won that round for sure. But other fights on the card, again, like I said, it's all in all a good card. Co-main event, we had Alexa Grasso getting the decision win over Macy Barber. I thought it was a fun fight. I thought both fighters looked good, except for Barber for, most of the fight was kind of shadow boxing from 6-7 feet away, which was
Yeah, not
weird.
really getting active.
Like it's one thing, if you're a couple feet away and you're throwing the jab for the, get the distance, the timing, but she was like so far away. I don't know what her strategy was, but it turned in again. It wound up being a fun fight. I think Grasso clearly won. I don't think that was in question. She looked good. I was expecting more from Macy Barber, but hopefully this doesn't get her down. Hopefully she learns to maybe take 2 steps forward before she starts throwing those punches. But good win for Grasso. This will probably get her maybe not into the top 5, but probably match against the top 5 person after this, I think.
Yeah, I thought that was a good fight. Actually, I didn't see a ton of the Gastelum fight. Tyler, I'm assuming you saw that. I saw more of the prelims and then like the last 2, but
Okay.
I don't know if you want to touch on that one. Then I have any of the prelims if you wanted to talk about that as well.
Yeah, just real quick. Gastelum, he came out. He got the decision win over Ian Heinisch. It wasn't the same exciting Gastelum that we had seen throughout most of his career, but he looked confident. He looked poised. He looked good in the ring. Wound up getting the win. I was kind of surprised that Heinisch didn't try to go to his wrestling a little bit more. But Gastelum looked good, so I was happy to see that as a fan of his. We talked about it Friday. He hasn't looked good the last few fights, ever since losing his title fight. So it was good to see him again, just kind of with some confidence after getting the win. And then also on the main card, the fight that opened the main card was Julian Marquez getting Maki Pitolo to tap out to the Anaconda choke in round 3. That was a fun fight. That was a real scrap. Marquez kind of needed to either get a 10-8 round. I thought Pitolo won the first 2 rounds. So I thought Marquez was, needed to finish, and he just went balls out, balls to the wall. Wound up getting Pitolo in the choke, getting the tap. Fun fight to start the show.
If there's a guy named Coconut Bombs involved, I think you already know which way it's going.
So that was Julian Marquez is nicknamed the Cuban Missile Crisis, and then Maki Pitolo is Coconut Bombs. That's an all-time nickname versus nickname battle right there. That was so good.
No problem with that whatsoever. And then the only one, I just wanted to point out, I know we talked about it, the last fight of the prelims, Vieira, I don't know what his mental state was, but he did not look like he was even ready to protect himself out there. It was kind of scary at certain points where I was like, dude, these guys are, world-class athletes and fighters, so it's not really in them to just quit or anything like that, but he just was not in whatever right state of mind that he needed to be in, because he was getting wailed on, and he just took a ton of damage. But it was clear that he had just on that night at that time, I don't know, just really probably didn't have the business being in there just at that moment. But that was kind of scary at certain points, like I said, because he was just taking an absolute beating. Yeah.
Kind of the big point coming out of that fight is that Vieira got submitted, which I think I told you. He's a grappling world champion. He's had over 100 grappling matches. He's had maybe 8-10 MMA fights, and that's only the second time he's been submitted. Now, granted, it's because he was taking a beating and just couldn't protect himself at any point in time. Which you can look back and say what's the corner man doing? It wasn't that he had any cuts and couldn't see, so a doctor wasn't going to stop the fight. But you got to kind of ask, all right, cornerman, you got to protect this guy and be all right, dude, it's just not our day.
It wasn't a huge blood thing or anything like that, but it was just the damage that he was taking was man, it's anyone else feel kind of weird about this right now? Anyone at all?
But yeah, all in all, again, it was I didn't get to catch a ton of the prelims. I did catch, I think, the last fight or 2 in the prelims. But all in all, man, it was a fun card. Again, I going in, I wasn't super hyped on it, but they wound up delivering as the UFC has tended to do over the last in these quarantine times.
Yeah.
Then of course, I know. Look, we're both looking forward this Saturday, America's Sweetheart, the return of Derek Lewis.
Come on,
we'll get into details on that Friday. We'll go a little bit more, but always excited to watch that man fight.
Fuck what they talking about. USA in his whole.
That's our guy. That is our guy.
That's right.
One last thing as we sort of segue out of UFC 258, as you've been seeing it everywhere. I mean, majority of us sports fans, we've been watching on TV, of course. The 8K camera, the depth of focus shot has now made its way to UFC. I actually thought it had more promise in UFC because it is a one-on-one sport. It does kind of make that ring feel a little bit bigger, and it's just like, man, these two guys are just heads up, like I could see the promise of it. They definitely kind of overused it a little bit, but it was their first time trying it out. But pretty much every sport is going to have this now. I know you all saw it during the football season, where it just pulls everything out in the back of the focus. And look, maybe I'm wrong. It seems like people are enjoying it. You're going to see more of it. Actually, NASCAR was using it as well, or Fox, I should say. This was not from that broadcast, but just kind of an example of a video that NASCAR had posted a couple of weeks ago, just showing how that focus pull works. I mean, there's definitely potential for it. I think my only real gripe against it is that it is actually a 6K or 8K or at least 4K camera. So, yes, you can't really watch a lot of things yet in 4K, but just having that kind of camera there, you would think, like, I'm going to be able to see more stuff. But instead, they only kind of use it in these, like, gimmick kind of shots. I'm sure they're going to get better with the utilization of it. I was telling Tyler, actually, my favorite part about that NASCAR one, because you can't, like, you think 8K camera, I'll be able to see, like, totally clear all the way down. But everything pulls out of focus, and it pulls in the new thing that gets in front of the camera. The funniest thing to me was just sort of seeing, because you can only look at the car that's, like, right in front of you, how loose these fools actually do get coming into corners at 190, sometimes 200 miles an hour, if they're really pushing it out there. And you could see some of these cars just really sliding out. I want to say it was the Tracker Boats, the Dillon car. Look for that black and red one come in, though, because he swings it. It's almost like a drift. So it is a cool idea. I just hope it doesn't become everyone's got it, so we got to do it, and we don't know how to use it. Like, especially when they first started doing it in football, it was really bad because it was picking up things that they did not want to focus on and taking the things that they were trying to focus on out of focus. I don't know. I just wanted to see what you guys thought about that. It's cool. To me, it's more of a gimmick right now. But I do like, sort of where it's going with UFC. I think that has probably the most potential of any sport I've seen.
Yeah, I do like it for kind of more like I guess I would call it individual events, like you said, like MMA or I know since WWE has the working relationship with Fox, they've been using it at their shows, but they kind of use it only for like wrestlers' entrances, so it just pulls them, walking down the ring on it. Yeah, I like it. I'm kind of with you. It's cool. Like it actually worked really well in that shot NASCAR you saw, because yeah, like you never realize how kind of wild these cars are swinging around, because it looks like they're so in control when you look at it from one camera. And you see that, it's like, oh, Jesus, they're like...
These guys are psychos.
Yeah, they're just absolute psychopaths out there. But, it's cool. I mean...
I'm thinking it will slide more back into... Like, it's not going to go away, but it's not going to be like, we got to do it as much as we possibly can. Like, it kind of seems right now. I don't know. Just the way that it's been used, and then it was kind of like a Me Too, sort of like, oh, they got it, we got to get it. Now we have it. Now everyone has it.
Well, I feel like it's mostly Fox stuff that's using it right now, between NFL and again,
Well, CBS copied it on the Super Bowl too.
That's true.
They were like, well, we got to have one.
You're right.
Yeah, CBS is also, I won't go too inside baseball as far as like the broadcast setup they had, but they were. Let's just say they're pretty pissed that the Chiefs cannot score at all because they had all these camera tricks and everything set up, and they barely got to use most of them. You did see that there, and I just think it's funny right now that it probably wouldn't feel so much like a gimmick if it wasn't being overused so much. The cameras are $40,000 for one. It's like okay, so maybe, well, we spent the money, we got to use it, but it just seems like a waste of a $40,000 camera a lot of times.
Oh. Oh, you folks just wait till we get our 8K cameras and start broadcasting with those. That's going to be
It's gonna be so sick.
it's going to be change of the game. Change of the game. It's the one that brings us back.
You guys are gonna think I have a White Sox logo on my cup because you won't be able to see it. But you'll see me clear as hell, which I don't even know if that's a good thing. But,
I don't know if I want that actually.
yeah, as they get cheaper, we're reaching out to TQN Brass. Hook us up with one of these 8Ks. We could use it.
Hey, look, I don't care if it falls off the back of a truck. Let's just get some of these cameras here.
I mean, the possum cam in 8K, grill cam 8K. Now we're talking about some big time ideas here. I mean, we're talking about like Emmy nominations.
But yeah, I mean, like it's like you said, it's not going away anytime soon. Kind of everybody's starting to get these cameras. That's just it's kind of the new hot thing. So get used to it.
In response to your previous question in the chat, Nick, that would get you a banner. That would get you in the rafters. If you come through with an 8K camera, I think we can work something out.
That's definitely instant jersey retirement for sure.
You go straight to the Hall of Fame. You can still be an active player. Doesn't even matter. We'll waive all the rules.
That's right.
But that was pretty much all I had. I do want to just point out. Yeah, buddy.
The champions.
It's back. It is backer than ever tomorrow. Thank God. I hope you're there next year, West Ham. I don't expect anything from you if you do get there. I was actually telling producer Tanaya this today. I was like, yeah, West Ham is like, I mean, they're not broke, but it's kind of a team that, maybe every like 10-ish years, they might have a realistic chance of getting in the Champions League. And it would be very West Ham to get into a Champions League, and they still don't let fans go next year, and they don't even get the financial windfall that they could desperately use.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think UEFA wants West Ham in there. Not for any like reason against West Ham, other than they're just not one of the super rich teams.
Just mostly the money, which is usually everything.
Yeah, exactly. But that'll be interesting because for the American fans not used to it, when you look at international soccer, it's actually the home team on top. That Liverpool-Leipzig game is being played somewhere else because of the recent, COVID restrictions being placed in Germany due to the, whatever you call it, second or third wind. I'm not sure where that game's being played, but it's not in Germany.
We'll have to effort on that one.
Not that there's much of a home field advantage with no fans in the crowd, anyways.
Yeah. And Liverpool, they kind of just show up and they're good.
Well, are they though? I mean, this
They're
year
a little all over the place this year, but when it comes
this year
together, they're a little bit of a bear to handle.
I mean, yeah, and of course Leipzig, they did lose their best couple of their best players last year to transfer. So, I mean, I gotta imagine, Liverpool's probably still going to win that. But with the run of form they've been in, with the exception of the West Ham game, they've been terrible. West Ham game, they actually showed up. People want to beat West Ham. That's what it is. They respect and fear West Ham.
The best way we can respect them is to beat them.
That's right. And then Barcelona, PSG.
Jaime likes Barca. Barca, having a rough go of it this year in the league. They still got some good players, but we'll see. I mean, PSG does have that favorable position of pretty much no one in the league will ever catch them. So they can really gear up for these games. This one, actually, Jaime, I'm going to have to go ahead and put the disclaimer up because this is a hot take. This is a flaming hot take.
Dortmund let's hear it.
Is real all over the map this year. If you're talking about Barcelona having a rough year, Dortmund,
that's true. They are
losing to teams that they haven't lost for in like 8 or 9 years. I mean, they are scuffling right now. So prove me wrong, but entertainment purposes only. Please believe that.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, normally, Dortmund is like you could. I wouldn't even say pencil. You could usually pin them in for number 2 in the Bundesliga behind Bayern, but this year it's Bayern.
This year has not been.
It's all chaos. So I don't know what's going on with Dortmund there. I haven't got to watch a ton of Sevilla, but again, that's a team you can always pencil in for top 4, top 5.
They're pretty strong. They're up there in the league, yeah.
And then Porto and Juventus. Juventus struggling a little bit too under Pirlo's direction, which who could have seen that coming? A guy that's never managed before.
Shocking. Frank Lampard on line one. Frank Lampard on line one.
Yeah, right. I mean, on paper, you would think Juventus kind of runs away with that, but I mean, they've been. I think they're like fourth in Serie A right now. Like it's the Milan. It's kind of the Milans and then everybody else in Serie A. So
very
that
Juventus so far.
That one could be interesting. Porto might sneak away with that one.
Look, there's no better time to literally be not allowed to leave your house than when the Champions League resumes.
True words.
So you get to see all the best players in the world going at it in some midday action, and I'm looking forward to it.
That means we also have Europa on Thursday and Friday. So
That's right.
So hopefully Tottenham has to go fly to I don't know, Kazakhstan Thursday night and then come back and play. Yeah, and then play West Ham Saturday morning. They'll be exhausted, hopefully.
Yeah. But always nice to see the Champions League, especially that, this layoff that we're just coming out of is like the longest one. So once you survive that, you're like, all right, it's back. Now we'll get some resolution here. It's good. And now you're down to, teams that were good enough to be at this point. So a lot of talent out there for every team involved.
Definitely.
But alas, I see we are up against time. Thank you guys for rocking with us, hitting us up in the comments. We'll try to get Justin back. He had to go on his Valentine's date, whatever that is.
Ooh.
No, but thank you, Justin, hitting us up in the comments. Everyone, Jaime, Nick, Amanda. We will get back with you guys on Wednesday with, obviously update the situation at Champions League and start, gearing up for that weekend.
Everybody's working for the weekend. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all the comments. I know we didn't get to a ton of the comments today. So we actually had a lot of them kind of as we were going through the show. But we were just kind of.
I do always appreciate you guys feuding within the comments. Also,
yes, definitely, yeah. Lots of just chat shit in the comments. We're all good with that. But
let it fly.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back here Wednesday. Hopefully not a lean Wednesday, as Wednesdays tend to be, but we'll see how that goes. But, we'll have pitchers and catchers reporting too, so maybe we can get some juicy early MLB stories out of that. But thank you guys so much. We love you. You know the drill. Keep the fire.
Keep the fire.